Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be doing front brakes on a Pontiac G6 2006. First thing I want to do is jack up the vehicle and place a safety jack stand underneath it. Remove the wheel. I'll be turning the wheel to the right to give me more access to the caliper bolts and whatnot. First thing I do, I'm going to attempt to push the piston back into the caliper by prying the caliper this way or outwards. I place the screwdriver somewhere in the rotor and then pull the caliper to the outside. Before you go any further, you just want to move this caliper back and forth to see if it moves freely. And if it doesn't feel like it's binding up or anything like that, then I think you're going to be good to go. This is a 14mm on the caliper bolts on this vehicle. Loosen those up. And take them all the way off. Take the caliper and then set the caliper aside. I like to do is I like to take a wire or something like that and just hang it off the strut. So the brake pad should pop right off. And now we got to get the caliper bracket off. So these two bolts. Now we go ahead and remove the rotor. Before I put the new rotor on, I'm going to hit this hub with a wire brush and clean it up really well. I tend to give it a coat of PB Blaster just to help the keep some of that rust down. And then what I'll do is I'll just wipe it up just to get the excess PB Blaster off of there. That just kind of helps protect the metal. It's just something I do. I take the new rotor, put that bad boy on there, and I always take a lug nut, tighten it down on the rotor just to help keep it in place while I put everything back together. Now before I put this back on, I take the hardware off and I take my wire brush and I clean those areas where the hardware sits. Now we can put this back in, insert the two bolts holding the caliper bracket on. Take the new hardware, install it, take the new set up top, just like that. Now I do like to pop these out. What I do is I'll put some grease on these, not a whole lot, just very small amount. Then we put them back in, and we just work them a little bit. And we'll pop this one out. Take a look at it, make sure it's alright. Throw a light amount of grease on there. And we slide that back in. And we work it, make sure it's loose and good. Then I'll put a slight amount of brake grease on the hardware, not too much though. And I just put the brake pads in. There we go. It's nice. Everything's working the way it should. Take the bolts for the caliper, put them back in. Then we tighten those up. Take that nut off. Torque your wheels. Then you want to get in the vehicle and you want to do what's called pump the brake. So you're going to press the brake all the way to the floor 3 or 4 times. 2 or 4 times. What you're doing is you're pushing those caliper pistons back out, which then puts pressure or makes the pads touch the rotors. So after 4 times, you should have a good pedal. Good, strong pedal. Very last thing you want to do is check your brake fluid reservoir. Make sure it's right where it says max. If it's low, go ahead, open the cover and add some what's called .3 brake fluid. Now you can start the vehicle. Check your brake pedal before you put it in gear or reverse. Make sure you still have a good brake pedal. And once you're comfortable with that, you're good. Now you can put it in gear. If you don't do this step, what's going to happen is you're not going to have any brakes. You're going to push that brake pedal to the floor and it's not going to stop the car. You got to pump the brakes up first before you do anything else with this vehicle. That's the front brake job. Pads, rotors, hardware kit. The biggest thing is with a car this old, make sure those calipers are moving freely and they're not binding up anywhere. Because if they are, you're just going to run into problems again. All right, you all. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.